Hello and welcome to 30 Days of Lightroom. I am so excited to be bringing you this series. Everything is totally free. We're going to teach you everything you need to know about Lightroom Classic, from bringing your images into Lightroom, editing, exporting, and making them look at their absolute best. So included in this series, you're going to be able to download and follow along with all of the included sample images. We have JPEGs as well as raw photographs. All you have to do is sign up. It's totally free. Just follow the link right down below. We will send you newsletter updates, we'll send you exclusive deals, and we'll send you a calendar so you can follow along with the entire series. So today is day one, the very beginning. We're going to be importing our images into Lightroom and giving you a program tour. So without any further ado, let's jump into Lightroom. So we're starting off here in Lightroom Classic, and as you can see so far, I don't have any images. This is a completely new catalog. Now, a catalog is a way of organizing your images, so you can create different catalogs and then choose to import images into those catalogs. So this is a brand new catalog. You can create a new catalog by going to File and then down to New Catalog, okay? Generally, we're going to put this in our pictures folder. You just type in what you want to save it as here. I've already typed in 30 days of Lightroom, and then go ahead and hit create. It's going to close down Lightroom Classic and then open it up brand new, just like this. Alrighty. So the first step is going to be importing our images into Lightroom Classic. So we're going to go right over here to the very bottom left to this import icon. So let's go ahead and click there. Now, when we go to our import dialog, we're going to go ahead and give you a tour of how this actually works. Now, here on the left, you're going to see your different sources. So you're going to see your hard drive, you're going to see all your folders and files and things like that. If you have an external hard drive, or if you have a SD card or a compact flash card that you plugged in from your camera, you're going to see those here on your left as well. So any source that you're going to be able to find these images, that's going to be listed here on the left. Then you're going to be able to view the images here on the center, and on the right, this is their destination. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our import. Now, you can definitely just find the sample images included in this project here on the left, wherever you download them, but my preferred option is actually just to bring up your Finder window. So I've got my 30 Days of Lightroom series here, and these are the sample images that were included with day one. Now, throughout this series, we've got tons of amazing sample images. So this is just the first part of it, but what we're going to be doing, go ahead and download all of the sample assets. Again, you can do that by following the link down below. It's totally free. So we're going to start by simply taking our sample images for this class, day one, and we're going to click and drag them right here into Lightroom. You're going to see a big green plus, and then there they are here in Lightroom Classic. So you don't necessarily need to find your images with this viewer. Basically, this is, this is just a file viewer, right? But in my mind, this is a little bit more difficult to use than actually using Finder within my computer, or Explorer if you're on a Windows computer. Okay, so this is the source. In this case, this is going to be just the sample images. Okay, here's the destination on the right-hand side, and then we have 4 different options as to how we're going to bring these images into our computer. We're going to start off with the first one, okay? We're going to talk through all of them. So the first is copy as DNG. Now, this is going to be for raw files that you're bringing in from a memory card from your camera. So if you photographed a raw file, let's say it's an NEF file, let's say it's an ARW file if you're shooting Sony, what it's going to do, this first option is going to copy it on your computer, and then it's going to convert it to a DNG. A DNG is an Adobe Digital Negative file. This is an Adobe RAW file, okay? It takes up a little bit less space, and it's non-proprietary. So this is what I usually choose if I'm importing directly from a memory card. Next, we have copy. This will simply just copy it directly to your computer. It's not going to do any type of conversion. It's going to keep it in its original file format. We have move. It's going to take it from whatever folder you have over here, and it's going to put it into your destination folder right over here. So this is a simple move from one place to another. And then we have add. And add is going to simply leave those files exactly where they are. It's just going to bring them into Lightroom so you can start to edit those files. So we have a few different options of how we want to work with our images. And all of these are great. Again, first one, this is going to be bringing it in from a memory card on your camera. This is going to be if you want it to go from one place, copy from one place to another. Well, it says copy and move. You kind of probably figured it out. But if you wanted to stay in the same place, just click on add. Alrighty. Now, what we're going to be doing, because I do have these in the sample images, but I want to kind of like mirror how we would import from a memory card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to copy them. All right, we're going to choose to copy them. So let's go ahead here on the right-hand side and we'll talk about all of our different options. So at the very top, you're going to see your file handling. Now, we're going to build standard size previews. This basically means when you double click on your image to view it a little bit larger, it's going to render at a standard size. But if you want to be able to zoom in all the way to 100% and you don't want to wait for it to render, then you can click on one-to-one previews. That's a full size preview. Okay. Now, I do recommend using smart previews here. Basically, this takes a much smaller version of those files and stores them inside of this Lightroom catalog. You can see we're in a new Lightroom catalog. And the reason this is great is because you can store the full size images on an external hard drive, but still edit them here in Lightroom Classic. And then when you plug in your external hard drive to export your images out, it's going to apply those settings automatically. So this is a great way, especially if you're using external hard drives. I highly recommend using smart previews. Okay, and then this is obviously pretty self-explanatory, but we want to say don't import suspected duplicates. You can make a second copy, which is really nice, and you can add them to a collection, which is a way of organizing within Lightroom Classic. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay, now file renaming, you can choose to rename your files here on import. I generally don't do that. You can do an actual develop setting or a preset setting here on import. Now, I do recommend doing this. So apply during import, where it says metadata. This is where you can actually put your name and your copyright information on your images. So let's show you how to do that real quick. Here where it says metadata, I'm going to click here and we're just going to go to new. So I'll show you how to create a new preset here. And again, I'm just going to type in your name in this case, you would actually type in your name, right? Whatever your name is. But down here, this is the important part. You want to make sure you copyright. You type in your name here where you have the copyright, and then your copyright status, go ahead and put copyrighted. If you don't put anything else, that's okay. Just make sure you do this, and then that way, this information actually gets stored in your file. So it's an extra layer of protection when you upload these to the web. Of course, you can put all this other information if you want to, but at very least, I would recommend doing this. Hit create. It's going to apply that metadata and embed your name and the copyright status into those photos. So that's pretty important. Okay. Now let's go ahead and close these down here on the right-hand side. We're just going to move into destination. So what I'm doing here again is these are sample images that we've downloaded from the internet that we're providing to you as well, so you can follow along. I'm not importing from a memory card, right? But I'm kind of mimicking the workflow as if I was importing from a memory card, because a lot of times in Lightroom Classic, that's exactly what you're doing. You're going to plug in a memory card into your computer, you're going to bring your images into Lightroom, and then you're going to organize them, you're going to put them in the right place. So that's exactly what we're doing in this process. That's why I'm using copy, because I'm copying them from whatever folder we downloaded. That's, again, available to you. Just follow the link down below. It's totally free. We're going to copy it here, and then I'm going to put it here in where I like to put things. Now, personally, I am a Dropbox user, so I love Dropbox. So I keep all of my files, all of my pictures, everything on Dropbox. So within Dropbox, I have a pictures folder, and then we're going to organize here. We're going to organize by date. So up here at the very top where it says organize, I recommend choosing date. Okay, there we go. And date format, this is the standard date format. It works really well for me. So what this is going to do is it's going to see, I'm going to choose my pictures folder. Okay, it's going to create a 2024 folder because it's 2024 when I'm making this tutorial. And then these are going to go in by date, and it's going to add all 30 pictures here. Okay, so it's going to take them from this location, it's going to copy them, and it's going to place them in here by date. All right, and that's basically all we need to know. Of course, you can have some different view options down here. You can decide to uncheck some. Like maybe you went on a photo shoot and that a few images are completely underexposed. You can uncheck them and they just won't import into Lightroom. So if you're going to do that, it basically saves it from ever getting on your computer. I really only recommend doing it if it's it's an absolute no, like if it's very underexposed or completely out of focus or something like that. Okay, that looks great. So we are done with the import process. All we have to do here on the right-hand side is click on import. And here we go. Everything is being imported directly into our computer. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about organization. We've got some fantastic ways we can organize our images within Lightroom Classic that mirror on our computer as well. But for now, we're going to give you a brief program tour. So we're going to start here on the very, very top with our different modules. The library module, this is where we're going to view our images. This is where we're going to pick our favorites, and this is where we're going to organize our image. Okay, here in the develop module, this is where we're going to be editing our images. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see all these different sliders, all of these different options. We're going to go through everything here during our 30 days. So you're going to make fantastic pictures. Okay, all that is done here in the develop module. Now you do have some others. There's a map module, which will, like if you have geolocation turned on, that's going to be there. You can actually create some books and some slideshows and print and create a website here. Honestly, these features are not that commonly used within Lightroom Classic. So for the most part, we're going to be covering the library module and the develop module, basically importing, organizing, and choosing your favorites and editing your images. And we're going to show you how to export as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and give you a brief overview here of the library module. Now here on the left-hand side, on the top, you're going to see a navigator. This is basically where you get to choose. Let's double click on our first image here. This is where you get to choose, hey, do you want to zoom in to 100%? You can do that. You have a little down arrow here where you can choose how far you'd like to zoom in. And you have a little preview that you can kind of click and drag around here of your images. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and click there to zoom back out. I'm going to close down our navigator and we're going to move to the catalog. Now this is giving us information about the catalog that we created at the beginning of today, this 30 Days of Lightroom.lr catalog. Okay, this is going to be all of our photographs. We can see how many are synced. We can even create a quick collection. Now this is kind of cool. Let's go right here to our grid view. Okay, I'm going to shift click a few of these images and we're going to click and drag them to a quick collection. That way, if I need to just get back to just those images at any time, they're here in my quick collection. Okay, just another cool way that you can work with your catalog. And you can see the images that were previously imported or just go back to all of the images in the catalog. Now, next we're going to have our folder view. This is the folder view that is mirrored on our computer. So you can see I have my Macintosh hard drive. This is that 2024 folder that we created. This is organizing by date. And then all of these images are here in that folder. So tomorrow we're going to get into organization and we're going to show you just how powerful this area is because everything that you do in Lightroom with your folders mirrors on your computer as well. Very, very powerful. Okay, next we have our collections. This is a way of viewing like your different, for instance, if I wanted a collection with portraits, I could create a collection here with just this image, type in portraits over here, and we'd be able to access all of our portraits at any time. We're going to show you how to do that tomorrow as well. All right, and lastly, we have our publishing services. This is where you can set up services online and upload your images directly from Lightroom Classic. Personally, I prefer to just export these onto my computer or my phone and upload them myself, but it is built here into Lightroom Classic as well. Alrighty, so that's it for the left-hand side. Next, we're moving into our center module where we're actually going to be viewing our images. So as you can see, all of our images are right here in the top, and here in the library filter, you can search by text. So if I open this up, I can simply type anything in that I want. Let's say I just type in 22 and hit enter. And it's going to show me, in this case, we have sample image number 22. It's going to go ahead and bring that up, which is really nice. You can search here by attribute. When we go ahead and show you how to choose your favorite images, that's going to be done with a process of choosing stars and flags and color ratings. So you can go ahead and filter those by stars and flags and color ratings. Okay. Next, we can choose to look at our metadata. For instance, if you have different cameras you photographed with or different lens you photographed with, all that information is going to be here and you can choose that. These are just sample images, so they don't have all this information inside of them, but you can even choose to add right over here all this different information. So you can just filter all your information if you want to see a specific shutter speed or a specific aperture. This is really, really helpful. Okay, we're going to click on none and it's going to remove our filters. Now here at the bottom are the different view modes. So these first 5 options are different ways of viewing our photos. Let's go to the very top. So the first one is our grid view. This is just going to show us all of our images at once, just like we have here. Next is loop view. We're going to click there and it's going to be basically a full size version of our image. Next we have comparison. So if I shift click 2 images, I can compare them. This is really great to where we can see maybe I like one more than the other. I can use my right and the left arrows here, which is really nice. And I can hit up and it's going to promote that image. I can continue to move to the right or the left. And it's a really great way I can try to find maybe my favorite image in a series. So we can hit up, it's going to promote it. And then you can move to the left. I'm gonna hit up. I really like this sample 7. That looks great. In this case, maybe I'll give it 5 stars. And that's a really great way to go ahead and move through your images quickly and compare one against another. All right, next we have our survey view. Let's go ahead and shift click a few images. We're gonna click here on survey view, and then I can hold Control or Command or click on this little X to remove images out here. And this is another way of filtering our images so we can eventually find our favorites. There we go. I like both of these images quite a bit. Okay, next we have a people view, which will find faces in your catalog. We're not going to do that right now, but basically it can do facial identification and you can actually find individual people. Personally, I don't really use this that often, but it is built into Lightroom as well. There we go. Now here we have some sorting options, and we can go ahead and choose to add a flag or a star rating, and we can even give it a color rating. Down here on your little bottom area, you can turn on color label and basically have the ability to give it a rating. So let's say we wanted to click on this image and it's already 5 stars, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a pick and make it red, and it's gonna really stand out. That way I know, hey, I really, really love this image. Again, we're gonna get into this in more detail in our subsequent days. Now we're moving over to the right-hand side of Lightroom Classic. So let's click on our first image here, and here we're gonna see our histogram. This displays our light information. So as I click through different photographs, we're gonna see the histogram changes. This is a great way to see if your photograph is underexposed or overexposed. Next, we're moving into Quick Develop. Now, the Quick Develop is basically a summarized view of what we see in the Develop module. It's very limited. We have controls for our white balance, our tone control, where we can move our exposure and things like that. Honestly, we don't use this that much in Lightroom Classic. It works out much better just to go into your Develop module where you have a full control over editing your images. But if you need to make a slight exposure update, you can do that here in your Quick Develop module. Next, we're moving into keywording. Now, this is a manual process where you type in keywords for your individual images. So for instance, if I wanted to click on this image here and I wanted to type in skateboard, there we go, and hit enter. Now you're gonna see this is given the keyword of skateboard. Now, personally, I don't really use keywords that often, and with our new updates, we're gonna see a lot of AI keywording become available where you don't have to type this stuff in. It's just gonna know what's in your image and automatically allow you to search for that. So keywording is a little bit a thing of the past here in like the end of 2024, 2025 when I'm recording this. And as we move into more AI updates, I predict this won't be necessary to type in your own keywords. It's all gonna be done with AI, but I do wanna just cover it. So this, I went ahead and typed in skateboard, okay? And here we can see if I open up my keyword list, then I have skateboard and I have one photo that I tagged with skateboard. So I can go to that photo and see just my skateboard photo. Okay, let's click on none, and that's gonna remove all of our filters. I just wanted to show you how this works. So we're gonna go ahead and close that down. And the last thing we're going to cover is our metadata. So this is going to show us our copyright information that we applied during import. That's actually, in this case, we can see here's our preset, and it's going to go ahead and have our copyright information applied with that photo. And the last area we're going to take a look at is our film strip down at the bottom, which allows you to view all of your photos. So let's go ahead, we're going to click on our first photo. Let's go ahead and double click there. But as you can see, I can still view all of my different photos in this view down here at the bottom. So here we have options for multi-screen support. I can choose to view all of my photos by clicking here. I can go back one step here, and I can go forward again in my different views. I'm gonna see information on my photographs, and I even have filtering options as well. So if I wanna see, for instance, just the filters that are flagged, I can click here and it'll show me just my flagged images. All right, let's go ahead and turn that back on. This is super helpful. Now, a great thing to note is that if I simply go to this little icon here, this is the little down arrow, I can move this out of the way. And if I go to this icon over here, this little left arrow, I can move that out of the way. And over here, I can move that out of the way as well. So if I want to view an image and just have everything gone, I can do this very easily. Now, there are keyboard shortcuts for doing this as well. If you hit Tab, it's going to bring your sidebars in. If I hit Shift Tab, it's gonna remove everything, and then Shift Tab one more time, it's gonna bring everything back. So now you can see I have my sidebars and my film strip at the bottom. So of course you can do it manually, simply going to this little icon to move it over. If I hover back over there, it's gonna bring it back, and I can click there and it'll bring it back permanently. Again, Shift Tab will get everything gone. Shift Tab again will bring everything back. So that's everything we need to know for the library module. Again, this is all gonna be viewing our photos, organizing our photos, and choosing our favorites. Now we're gonna move into the develop module, and this is where we're actually gonna be editing our images. Alrighty, let's move here into develop. And again, here we're gonna see the navigator. We already know what that looks like. Here are presets where if you create something and you really like it, you can add a preset to be able to apply that to multiple photos. Let's go ahead and close that down. Next, we have snapshots. This is very helpful if you want to create different versions of your image. So you maybe want to make a couple different edits. You can store those here and then cycle between them to choose your favorite. Okay, we have our history. So if I decide to do anything with my photograph, I'm going to see everything in my history and I can get back to the original at any time. Keep in mind, Lightroom Classic is completely non-destructive, so I can get back to my original photograph at any time, no matter what I do. Okay, and of course down here we have our collections. This is basically the same exact module from our library, and we're gonna go over this in day 3. All right, here we have our main image. Again, we have a repeat on the right-hand side of our histogram, and then here are all of our editing settings. So you can see everything is broken down very, very nicely and organized. Let's go ahead and close down everything. So you can see you have your basic adjustments. You can work with your tone curve. This is very similar to curves in Photoshop. Color mixer, color grading, lens corrections, lens blur, effects, a lot of powerful things in here. And right over here, we have our ability to crop our image, to remove objects. We have our red eye removal, and we have advanced masking as well. So all of these different options are available here in the Develop module, and we're going to be moving into this in great depth as this tutorial series progresses. And there we have it. We did it. I know that was quite a bit, but you stuck around for it. I am proud of you. That concludes our program tour and the end of day 1. I'm super excited to be spending the next 30 days with you as we go through and show you everything you need to know about Lightroom Classic. And don't forget, you can sign up for this series completely free. We're going to send you all of the sample images so you can follow along day by day. You can do so by following the link right down below. Thanks again, and I will Phlearn you later. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.